Tuesday, April 23rd versus the San Diego Mojo at Viejas Arena in San Diego. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome into On the Block, brought to you by NEBCO. I'm Austin Norman, Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland to my left. We're going to be pulling on both those areas of Strick's background and expertise here in our number one. We'll talk some NBA playoffs here to start, and then a long segment on Nebraska men's basketball. Got another transfer portal commitment over the weekend, and I think the starting lineup is pretty well set right now. We'll give you our thoughts on what that's looking like for the Huskers. And CJ Wilcher as well. Where did he end up, in case you didn't hear the news? We'll get to that later on in hour one. Hour two will be all about the spring game. We'll give a little bit of preview, some positions, some players that we're watching, and then kind of an overview of the recruiting weekend ahead at the spring game, the setup, and what it's going to look like with Brian Munson of Husker Online. NEBCO's operations span the state of Nebraska and supply the construction industry with the materials needed to construct buildings, streets, and highways. It's Nebraska's oldest paving company since 1908. Fourth generation family-owned and operated business with over 1,200 employees and 26 companies throughout Nebraska. If you're looking to start your new career today, you can visit nebcoinc.com. Stricky.
Yay.
Good weekend, my guy.
It was a very chill weekend this weekend. Not much to it. Got a chance to hang out, obviously, with my boy Clester. Not obviously, but, got to hang out with my boy Clester. Had a really good time. We ended up watching the fight. Big fight this weekend, which was Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney. It was a championship fight that ultimately didn't lead to a championship because Ryan Garcia decided not to make weight.
Dummy.
I think it's still a choice. You know, you gotta, if that's what your thing is, your profession is, you understand the rules of engagement going in. You got to be on top of that. You know, trying to come in the last minute. So he misses weight, loses $500K, probably right off the top. Like the minute you miss weight, $500K. So you're looking at 500, and probably with purse, maybe another 1.5 to 2 million. So I mean, to me that hurts. You think about it. You know, all I had to do was make weight. Not only would I be a champion now, I would be a champion. Everything. Yes, I do get the kudos for the win, but I do lose a lot. That's a lot of paperwork to lose. A couple million minimum.
Why? How?
Right.
You've done it how many times before? And this is the one where you're going for a belt, you're going for a title,
Facts.
you don't get it.
Facts.
Whatever. Watch any NBA this weekend?
I did.
What stood out?
Oh, one. If I heard you correctly, I think home teams won. That's something that's wild. And listen, I'll say above that, because you did tell me that. I think above that was the way that they won. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't very many close ones.
No.
It was like they got handily taken care of. Yes, throughout the game you had runs. Yes, they were close at certain times, but no, they those teams that were at home, it looked like they were gonna win the game. You know, Clippers. I was surprised at that one. I thought that would have been a little bit better. Wasn't overly surprised about the Indiana and Milwaukee. I would say I was surprised by it. I know we're going to get into it, but I would say I was surprised by it because your boy showed up. Dame
Dollar.
Dame time. He showed up. I mean, and I'm saying he showed up big.
35 in the first half.
They needed him to show up like that because Giannis was out. You know, all you could do is just think about the fact that, you know, you're missing your all-NBA player and, you know, it doesn't look good with what you have, but they were able to get it done. So shout out to them.
The home teams were 8-0 with a plus 87 margin over the weekends. That's an average of just about 11 points per game. Orlando looked horrible on the road offensively. Credit Cleveland for that. Minnesota stomped Phoenix in what I think is not a great matchup for Minnesota. Anthony Edwards going at Kevin Durant the way he was John. I hope that's a long series because if those two get talking, Stricky, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, and he was basically, and this is what I was talking about. The NBA needs to do more of promoting them young bucks because that's the new face. You're stuck. I mean, if you don't sell them young bucks to the next phase of where you're going into your TV and rights deal, if you're not able to sell them, because that's where your extension is going to be. I mean, for the next 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
If not, I personally think if I'm a TV company, I might want to sell shorter deals, you know, personally. But that's a risk for me as well. As a, you know, you want to lock it in because I'm pretty sure they can probably. This is probably as bottom as they can get them if they stay the same.
Right.
If they change and then these young bucks show up, you know, your John Morant, your Zions, if they begin to show up, but I don't think the NBA has done a good job of promoting because he showed his as well as anybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
New York and Philadelphia, unfortunately marred by Joel Embiid, who gets injured throwing an alley-oop to himself.
Unbelievable.
Comes down on the leg, and that not only Strick affects the 76ers as they try to fight their way up from the bottom of the bracket, but also Team USA.
Yeah.
He's out. Kawhi Leonard went out. That wasn't any good. Denver and Los Angeles, kind of went the way you anticipated it would with Denver there.
Y'all better leave Jokic alone. Y'all better leave that man alone.
MVP.
Every time y'all come in with some bull about him, he ends up giving you that work. And especially when you're talking about what LeBron and AD was talking about, you know, before the season, and they still haven't beat him in 4 games this season. Now we're in the playoff 5 straight. It's like, I think I want to say 8 or 9 straight at this point. It's something around that range. So, you know, they've been doing a lot of chirping, and he's just continuously giving you that work. I sent some numbers we're going to talk about. Is that what are we digging in? So, yeah, I was able to retrieve a few notes on this game, and it was crazy to me because it's sick, right? Here's what's sick about it. This is the percentage of games the percentage of games a team has outscored the opposing team with this player on the floor during the playoffs. Okay. Now that's a specific number, and Jokic is number 1 in 2023 and 2024. 19 of 21 playoff games. That's 90% that when he's on the floor, his team has outscored the opposing team. It goes then the next after that. After him is 2017 Steph Curry, 11 out of 15 games, 73%. And the next one after that is Shaquille O'Neal in 2000, 15 out of 23. He's even better than the numbers there. Hey, listen, he's playing out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing out of his mind. I'm talking about there's nothing they can do to speed him up. There's nothing they can do to stop him. His footwork is impeccable. He gives it to you however he wants to. Floaters, short range, deep range, spin moves, finds. Like his IQ is beyond. If he doesn't win it this year, it is a I'm going to say it is a it's not only a travesty, but it's a conspiracy.
It's farcical.
It's a conspiracy if he doesn't win. He's literally he means, like, let's get back to really what MVP means. Let's stop talking. It got out of line, Austin, when it was about wins, or it was about this, or it's about what he did to help his team to get to that point of wins. Let's get back to really what it means. And that stat I just told you, if he's on the floor, what he does for you.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not on the floor, is what he doesn't do for you that can cost you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's no other player that's in the race that if they're off the floor, he means that much to that team as any of the other ones.
Jokic is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
The awards came out, and it's down to foreigners again for I think each of the last 4 years. Now it's been 3 foreign players. Yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I want to get to that Thunder Pels game here in just a sec. But Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then Luka Doncic, right? The Mavs have Kyrie, who can pick up some of that slack.
Yep.
The Thunder are known for their depth, right? So yeah, Shai's clearly the best player, but the Thunder have such a creative system. Jokic is irreplaceable, not just for the Nuggets, but around the game of basketball. The Lakers should have the guy that stops him, AD, who's built pretty well, who's more athletic than he is, and who should be able to, expose Jokic and make him work more on defense. Hasn't necessarily happened. So he should be going against the antidote, and he's not.
He's dropping them off.
Yeah.
And then you know what? There's a guy back in the day that used to call himself the Jordan stopper, or the Kobe. No, not even Jordan. The Kobe stopper.
And he's sitting here in studio with me.
No. Strickland never said that.
No.
But his name was Ruben Patterson. Played with Portland. Had his big years. He was one of those defensive stopper type, those Bruce Bowen types. Not really. I mean, Bruce worked on his J. Not really
Tony
super
Allen.
scoring. Yeah. But could definitely defend you. They basically said after one series or something, one game last year, that he had a little bit of success. Hachimura. They call him the Jokic stopper.
Nah.
I said, you better be. Man, Jokic looked at him and said, I got a mouse in the house. Ducked in on a post, got it, dropped him off something, left him like an Uber down at the Haymarket, and ran back down like nothing happened. And this is where you see his IQ also. There was one situation, I actually saw last year they had mic'd up your boy DeAndre Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
They had DeAndre Ayton mic'd up. And basically he said, man, that boy Jokic, he was breathing hard. He's like, man, I don't know. You look at the way he looks like, but that boy can run. I think he's like Ryan Garcia. He plays coy, like he's crazy and out of there, and you just think you're gonna be able to walk over him. And he's in better shape than anybody. There's one segment where he was in the middle of the paint, loose ball. Denver ends up getting it. So he's right in the middle of the paint. AD's right there next to him, just barely behind him. LeBron's in front of him. Jokic breaks out, gets ahead of LeBron, leans into LeBron with just a little shield and sprints for a dunk where LeBron gets banged on from the back, Jay's boy. So yeah. Paul. So yeah, his IQ is phenomenal because it was just that little leverage. And then that quick sprint left that lane wide open, drops it off. That's what's special about Denver, and I think they don't get enough credit.
Part of that's they got the 2 seed, right? They lost a tiebreaker on the final day. Oklahoma City ends up as the 1 seed, but Denver is probably the most dangerous team in the field because they have that combination of age and experience with some youthful guys that are playing a role. I think Malone is a really good coach who I think gets underrated even still to some degree. So I think Denver probably has the best combination of factors going for it. And they made pretty light work of the Lakers, all things considered. Wade, appreciate you chiming in here. We know you're a resident Nuggets fan here on the YouTube stream. But Strick, the Thunder, their first home playoff game in I think 5 years, to the day, I didn't think they were going to get it done. Game of runs, back and forth. The reason they won that game to me, Lou Dort. Brandon Ingram scored 4 points on 7 shooting possessions with Lou Dort guarding him. Handful of turnovers. Brandon Ingram was not good, but I think the Thunder are showing you how to win in the modern NBA. Size and length across the board. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys who can do a little bit of everything, and then role guys that know what their job is, like Lou Dort.
I was watching my boy and former teammate with the Bucks, and he's been on the show as well. Mo Williams, coaching down at Jackson State now. Mo said, and he had a stream where he was talking about NBA predictions and stuff. On his stream, he says, these games are going to be about matchups. And I do believe that. That's where you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Because when you have a team across the board, size, length, athleticism, strength, whatever the case you make for that team, it gives you the ability to not be overwhelmed with matchups because that's all they're doing. Every set, every design play, every game, it's changed because it's also what you do in the next game with the adjustments that you needed to make from the previous game. What set you add, because you're not going to see them, because they're going to see something and they're going to add a set. You're not going to probably have a film on it.
Right.
But then guess what you got to do? You got to either go the next day, get film on it, make the adjustment. If you're going to blitz, if you're going to trap, if you're going to do something different to try to eliminate the matchup, because it's who wins the matchup exchanges more in the playoffs. And then who makes the better adjustments when you're dealing with these matchups that are going to be, they're going to create them. It's not that you just find them, it happens by happenstance. No, they're specifically running sets to create a specific matchup they want. And you saw it with like the Lakers against the Pelicans, where they were doing a certain they knew they were going to switch. They were doing certain things going at Grand Theft Alvarado.
Oh, yes, Alvarado. Yep.
And that's how it's going to be. So I think that's where it works for what you're talking about. The fact that they across the board are very long and they have a lot of athleticism that they can do stuff like that. And you're going to see more of it until they make an adjustment to change it. And Brandon's not full strength anyway.
He's not. But I also didn't love Willie Green going to him after such a rough day. I mean, I know ride with your stars, the guys that got you there, but to go to Ingram on that last possession and then to have him, have it go awry and it ends up with CJ McCollum. I almost start that play with CJ because he's a little better with the ball in his hands, has a better matchup. Cason Wallace is a good defender, but not as good as Lou Dort was that night. Or can you get a lob to Nance? Something like that. Let him on Chet. I don't know. I don't think New Orleans handled that well, but what the Thunder do is they can find a good matchup on offense and put you in a bad matchup on defense because of the versatility. That's
it. And that's where their strength lies. But eventually it comes up against the Joker. like the best thing you can hope for is the Lakers are able to do something because there's nothing that they do. He's an adjustment maniac, not where you're sitting in the huddle and they're drawing up the adjustments or at half or at the quarter or at whatever the 8-minute timeout. No, Joker's able to do this stuff on the fly, and they flow off of him on the fly. Like Jamal Murray, solid. He hasn't even broken out yet. So you still got to worry about that. You still got to worry about, a matchup with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, they could put on LeBron. They've got the right type of stuff to do that. This is what's scary about them. But eventually, you're going to run up on him. And if you don't have an answer for him, and it's trouble in a 7-game series.
For sure. Good look at the NBA here. Let's keep the basketball conversation going, but bring it back closer to home. Nebraska men's basketball picks up a commitment out of the transfer portal from Connor Essegian.
Another one.
Wisconsin transfer. We'll talk about that. And I think I have the starting lineup down for next season. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong. Strick and I will go through that next.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Coppel. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Special thanks to Platinum Partner Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, delivering dependable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home for over 130 years. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Tuesday, April 23rd versus the San Diego Mojo at Viejas Arena in San Diego. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 8 p.m. with first serve at 9. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Strick and Austin with you here for the next hour and a half during On the Block with the 2 to 4 weekdays, brought to you by Nebco. Want your participation here? Starter Heyman text line, Starter Heyman comment section, wherever it is you're watching. Nebraska men's basketball starting lineup next year.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my best prediction, Strick, right now. I think Nebraska went out and got a point guard in the transfer portal because they don't want Bryce Williams to be a point guard. So I think either Worcester or Ulis gets the start. I'm going to call my shot and say it's Raleigh Worcester, transfer from Utah. I think Essegian's the 2. I think he's the 2. He's 6'4". That's better size than Casey had playing the 2. You can run him off of similar actions. Probably don't have the ball in his hands as much necessarily, but I think just with his size and even coming from Wisconsin, he's going to be slightly better defensively, hopefully better defensively than Casey was consistently. I think that moves Bryce Williams to the 3, but more a 2.5 than I think a 3. I think you're playing 2 shooting guards, essentially. I like Juwan at the 4. I really do. I think if he's at the 4, he's a good enough spacer from there, athletic enough to create a difference there. Still waiting on confirmation, but I'm operating under the assumption that Rink Mast is back. And I think he starts at the 5. So I go Worcester, Essegian, Williams, Gary, Mast is my prediction for the Nebraska men's basketball starting lineup right now.
I'm going to say there's going to be a battle.
Okay.
If I'm Fred Hoiberg, Coach Fred Hoiberg right now, I'm letting these 2 Wisconsinites know that there's nothing given and there's nothing stated. You guys, hey, we're glad that you're here, but at the same time, just know that it's going to be a knockdown, drag out.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Janowski, I'm coming in with guns blazing, and I'm ready to go with whatever smoke is being presented in practice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it. If I'm Essegian, I'm coming saying there's opportunity for me. I got written off. I'm hungry like the wolf. I'm ready to get back in and get my mojo back. So I'm coming with the same smoke. And then let whoever, because you don't want to create a situation similar to what happened this year with like an Eli Rice or something like that. I think there was times that they could have found for Eli Rice to be able to kind of make him still content. Like there were moments where maybe Nebraska was struggling. Other guys really weren't doing very well. You could have got him in out before the injury, probably, I would say. During those stretches where Casey was out, was struggling a little bit early on in the season.
A Minnesota game where they're top blocking him.
Yeah, just throw a little different body out there. Maybe a matchup situation you could have created with those type of guys. And they were already used to it because of what they did in Europe. So they didn't have no bigs.
Right, not a one.
So they were already so I think you could have tweaked but I understand because Fred's not in it. He wasn't in this as now a unique situation. He's got an extension. So, there's a little bit more security that comes with that now, that he probably didn't want to play with it. He wanted to go with, who showed and proved and so forth and so on. So I wasn't mad about it.
Let's keep on that point for a second here. You mentioned Janowski, right? And I think there's a role for him. I'm excited about his future, and I think Nebraska needs to do what it can to keep that young man around. But we said the same thing about Eli Rice. Are you going to be monitoring how Nebraska uses Janowski to make sure he doesn't transfer out like Eli Rice does?
Yeah, no doubt. Because it's got to come to a point where you can't overly continue to rely. It is what it is. It is here to stay, folks. It's not going anywhere. It's being expanded in so many ways. Now the ruling has come down that you can transfer anytime, any year. You don't have to, there's no restrictions
Just
on
grades.
it. Just, you bye-bye. So the recruiting, so yeah, we understand that. You're probably going to be in the transfer portal at some point every year, looking, hunting, trying to upgrade. Your players don't feel good and don't like it. They're going to jump. So you're going to have to deal with it, but you've got to figure out a way for retention. You got to be able to do what Matt Rule was able to do, to retain a lot of the guys and not have a lot of attrition and guys just overly jumping. Now, we're still early because spring hasn't happened yet. There's still some things probably to watch. You're starting to hear things about Harburg and, the quarterbacks and how they're fighting it out. But I'm just saying he's done a wonderful job in the retention areas of being able to keep a good stock of his, leaders on board. He did that last year as well. That's what you got to recruit for now. You've got to really hope that guys are willing to be there and have what I'm going to say for now is an Arch Manning mentality. See where I'm going? Arch Manning is behind Quinn Ewers, and the word out there is he's giving Quinn Ewers everything he can handle in the competition. Like it's Quinn Ewers' team, but don't get it twisted. That young man is ready for it. If that's what they're saying, that's just the word that's coming out of camp. But what I like about him is he isn't hasty. He isn't in a hurry. He's not trying to jump into the deep ocean without a life vest and can't swim yet. He's allowing himself to grow, get better without the pressures that come with running a top Power 5, Power 2 now, type program
that made the playoff last year.
Right.
That's jumping to a better conference.
Right. So I like the mentality. I'm looking for more guys like that. That's why conversations need to be had. Like I'm saying about Janowski and Essegian, both young players. Essegian's only going to be a junior, so I think he's got maybe two years left. But you need to keep this young man. You need to. That needs to be the foundation of where you're trying to go next, and you got to be able to find a center to replace Mass. Hopefully, it's a young one. You thought you could have relied on Jolt, but he drops the ball and goes to freaking Loyola Marymount. Go figure. But anyway,
it's on a nice hill.
It's on a nice hill. It's got a pretty view, but that's about it for me.
On the YouTube stream,
they've been garbage.
They have been. Wade says, I wonder if Fred would have gone after Elijah Hawkins from Minnesota if he would have entered the portal before today. That's a big loss. Led the Big Ten in assists. Obviously a true point guard. Shot okay from long range. Okay defender. Yeah, I'm sure he would have at least inquired on a guy like that. Who knows, what Elijah Hawkins' goals are. But let's get back to the starting lineup conversation here too, Strick. Even if Janowski's not fully ready, I think we agree that Nebraska's got to play him 8 to 10 minutes a game just because he can stretch the floor. He can shoot it pretty well. You can always do some more shooting. Do you think Nebraska got Raleigh Worcester out of the portal to start or sit the bench? Or do you think we see more point Bryce Williams, maybe Essegian at the 2, and Gavin Griffiths, the Rutgers transfer in the starting lineup potentially?
No, Riley, Worcester's numbers and the consistency of the numbers, you know what you're getting. You know you're going to get, not crazy trying to score. He's going to set your other guys up because his assist numbers is what you like for a point guard.
Average essentially 5 a game for 3 years.
You're right. And look, I know we see crazy numbers in the NBA and stuff, 9, 10, 11 assists, but that's more minutes, more game time, and lesser clock, so more assists. And they give assists a lot differently in the NBA than they do at the next level. I mean, you could drop a ball off, the guy could be in a break, but take 2 dribbles and finish, and that's an assist in the NBA, right? So for me, that young man, that number, that consistency of that number is great because he's going to set guys up. All he has to do is work on when I'm open, I need to be able to knock this shot down. I need to be a threat. I need to be somebody that, they have to come out because it's going to open the floor up for everybody else. It's going to be a crazy shrunk floor. I think the style of the offense helps. I still think Nebraska should use in rebounds. I don't care who gets it. Let's go. I think they have enough guys that can handle. Bryce can handle. I think Juwan in an open. You want to get if you want to get guys opportunities without having to run through the set, you have to open it up and allow the Royster get it. Boom, push. Get Juwan in the open floor to where he can be athletic and do what he does. Don't have to rely on him in the corner, just hoping he knocks threes down. Yeah, he's capable, but why? Get him in. I think next year Nebraska needs to have 5 to 8 minimum possessions where they're just you saw the video I posted. That's how we were at Nebraska. Teron got that thing, boom, 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 dunk. You know what I'm saying? It used to happen with Mikey. It used to happen with Vincent. It used to happen with all of us. Badge, because that ball just was we was out and gone before you even had a chance to take a look. I think they need 5 to 8 possessions of that a game where they're just boom, boom. Let Bryce be athletic. Let him be athletic. Then let those trail plays happen with Rink, because the more pressure you put, the deeper they have to get. That opens up trail opportunities for a guy like Rink, for a guy like Essien, for these guys to flow back into something, real nice and get a nice opportunity there as well.
Let's just go down the potential options here. Sam Hoiberg can dribble. Worcester can dribble. Ulis can dribble. Those are your point guards. Bryce Williams can dribble, especially in the open court. Essien is a guard, can put it on the deck a little bit. Griffiths, maybe not quite as much, but he can take a dribble or two to start the break. Juwan, again, there's a difference between getting a rebound and going and initiating offense. Rink can dribble the ball up the floor. Andrew Morgan in the right matchup, I think, can be Rink masked light. So there's no excuse for Nebraska not to run when opportunity presents itself.
That's
right?
it.
Because we're not saying, hey, Juwan, dribble the ball up into playing 4-on-5.
Right.
Don't do that. But if you have a 3-on-2 situation with a long rebound and Juwan gets it, at least go see what's available, right?
Probe it. And that's how many times, be honest, Austin, we've been to a lot of games together. How many times have you seen opportunity? Like, guys are falling and guys are way back there. They flew out of bounds. And Nebraska has opportunity, and they'll just wait, and they'll stop it and get into that little handoff. Against good teams that defend well, you've got to take opportunities. Don't let them why let them get set up in their defense? Like, just imagine Nebraska trying to do that against UConn. Come on. Boy, if you don't take them 5 to 7 opportunities and get something at the rim before Klingon and all that group gets back down on defense, yeah. But sometimes I don't know. Sometimes the IQs blow me, because I'm like, did you not see that you're 5-on-3 right now, but you pull it out to the side? It blows me away.
And I wonder how much of that is Fred Hoiberg, how much of that is the players.
Possible.
Because, there were, a couple opportunities almost on a game-to-game basis.
Yeah.
Like,
Go!
It's the pedal on the right. Put down.
Yeah.
And not saying you have to force a shot up in transition. Not saying you have to be the 7 seconds or less Suns, but just go and see what's available. Because the hardest defense to play is transition defense. Because you're at a numbers disadvantage. Because it's hard enough to communicate with 5 guys, let alone 3. The offense is both trying to shrink the floor to get to the rim and spread the floor at the same time. It's tough to play transition defense.
Facts.
If you can give yourself an advantage, why not take it?
There it is. And that's what we were good at. I mean, that's why we averaged like upwards of 80 points a game. I mean, because a bucket to us wasn't time to just sit there and, relax. We believed on getting back, getting physical, being fundamental. But when you made a basket, that didn't stop the train. The train was still coming. You better get back. I think they need to take opportunities like that, man.
Michigan State is notorious for doing that. It doesn't matter if one team scores. That ball is out and up right away.
Yeah.
Why not Nebraska?
Exactly. They need to. They need to do that. Because, again, it comes back to this, Austin. Nebraska doesn't have the sizzle.
No.
So if you don't have the
steak, like
sizzle to where You got somebody that can Dame Lillard you out front like he did, that can old school James Harden you, that can Russell Westbrook you in his prime, that can Kobe you when you needs to. If you don't got guys like that, you got to figure out ways to get opportunities easier. You saw during Texas A&M, nothing was easy. No. Even K-State start. All them shots were good, hard-made shots. There were guys right there with him, on him, and all night. Why face that all night when you have a team that's super athletic and good? Be good on making decisions on the shot. Don't force them, but you got to probe them.
Right, because the more guys that you think are deserving of shots, the easiest way to do that is not go his turn, his turn, his turn, his turn every possession on offense. It's give yourself more opportunity by running, and that gets you those easier shots.
Yeah. Don't let Juwan feel that, okay, I haven't touched the ball, I haven't got a shot. No, give him 2 or 3 on a break.
Because he can dunk all over someone, get fired up, feel good.
Give him a few options, bro. Give the point guard a couple of probes to be able to do like, a point guard can. Get deep. Oh, dribble out. Oh, nothing's there.
Steve Nash.
Now Now the big's on me. Ooh, we got something. We ain't running no freaking dribble. And that's what Nebraska will do. They'll freaking go have a mismatch. Rink's on the point guard, and they'll do a dribble handoff or pull Rink out to the. I'm like, are y'all running I'm facepalm, airplane. I'm like, are y'all really running a set right now? And then guess what? Set, switch. Everybody's back on track now. Like, come on.
What are we doing?
What are we doing here?
Let's take a break. Good stuff there. Nebraska, a top 25 team to start next year. One ranking service says they are. We'll tell you about it to wrap up Hour 1 of On the Block. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Whether you're looking for a place to stay for a concert at PBA, a Nebraska home game, or just a night on the town, the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket is the place for you. Enjoy an evening at one of many restaurants or bars within a short walking distance. Business travelers at the hotel will enjoy free high-speed internet access, a 24-hour business center, and large in-room workstations. And check out the Bistro, where you'll enjoy healthier food and beverage options, as well as high-tech conveniences. Book your room today at the Courtyard Lincoln Downtown Haymarket.
Hey Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Special thanks to Platinum Partner Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, delivering dependable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home for over 130 years. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
The need in our community, if you just look at the numbers, it's frightening. We're serving over 1,000 kids every day. With the passion of our people, I really feel like our potential to be of even greater service to kids and families who are struggling is just unlimited. But in order to have the greatest impact, we need all the help we can get from the community.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Coppell. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at coppellcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Jake Sorensen here for The Body Shop. My wife is nearing her due date with our first child and has been in need of a good massage as her body continues to change and adapt. Dennis and the team at The Body Shop were incredible with the prenatal massage that she's still talking about today. I was also able to get a deep tissue massage, so it was a great bonding experience and a unique couples massage in general. If you're in need of stress relief, book a massage today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Short segment here, get us back on track, talking Husker football here briefly. A couple other Husker basketball things to mention. First of all, Strick, CJ Wilcher, we knew he entered the transfer portal, ends up at Texas A&M.
Wow.
Not sure I saw that one coming, but hey, here the Aggies go again.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, especially due to the fact that CJ struggled. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just to get a shot off against that group. Now, here's the other thing, though. What is one of the problems that Texas A&M had?
Shooting.
CJ does that very well. Mm-hmm. What is the thing that's good about that Texas A&M team? They do what well?
They rebound. They're athletic.
And they're penetrate. So all of their guards was able to just do what they will. But even still, if they would have had more shooting a little bit later the next round, probably would have been better. They played good. Mm-hmm. Just timely shooting wasn't necessary. So a guy with the ability, like, you know, that team to be able to attack, to get downhill, to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
A shooter, you're going to get more time. This is where CJ excels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not against it. I'm surprised by it. But I think what he brings to the table, a reliable shooter with time, not going to be able to do what the other guys do, but that's not what they need from him. But one of the issues that they're going to have is defense. You know, he's not able to guard. Mm-hmm. So they're not like very big on the back end. So they don't have like a rim protector.
Right.
But shout out to him, man. Congratulations.
That to me is a 16 to 20 minutes per game sort of guy. But like you said, who fills an important role, who, you know, in moments where A&M needs a spark, I think he can come off the bench and just focus on doing what he does well. you know, he can play the role. The other thing I saw on the Nebraska men's basketball front is earlier today, Nebraska was inside the top 20 of some preseason projections. Right now, they're at 2022, according to Bart Torvik. So BartTorvik.com is where I went for this. Nebraska sandwiched between Indiana and Rutgers. They're 21, 22, 23. Projected to have, get this, Strick, the 14th best offense in the country and the 43rd ranked defense. Both of those would be an improvement from the last year, where Nebraska was right about 100th in each of those stats. If Nebraska has a top 20 offense and a top 40 defense in college basketball, oh boy, you can dream big.
Oh boy. It's again, one of the hardest things to do, listeners, my partner, is to take a bunch of independent personalities and get them to buy in to one goal, to be locked in step with the agenda of the team, where the desires of the team are to go and what they're trying to accomplish, and align that with personal goals. And how can I fit within that measure without like, that's going to be one of the hardest things to do. They were able to accomplish it last year, to an extent, right? For the most part, they were able to get guys to pretty much operate within their rules. I think they'll be able to take film, look at what they've got enough film to look at what they did wrong and bad in like Minnesota games, Rutgers games, situations. They could use those clips of them, stretches of them, but then they can also use the goods and say, this is what we want it to look like, guys. Like, we're so much better if we're together, right? We're so much better together that no one individual can do this for us. And when I speak sometimes at camps, this is the one analogy that I'll give. I tell the young men, I say, listen, there's 5 players at one given time that are on the floor. If I have 5 individuals that if I was to walk up to any one of you and just do that to you, like, you know, with one finger, you'd feel it, but there's no real impact. Then I come over and I do it with one finger, maybe 2 on the back end still, but it's when you collectively unite them. You go from just the feel, you know, a little nuisance to
you're gonna feel me tomorrow.
You're gonna feel me if I collect these. That's one of the analogies I give them, because to hit with this as opposed to with that, you're hitting, but you're hitting with impact as opposed to just hitting.
Right.
That's what you got to do when you unite a team. You've got to figure out how to do that. And that's what they're facing. That's what Nebraska is facing when you don't have the hierarchy set. You don't have the foundation built, that you're constantly like, that's just like basically taking holes in the stucco and just filling them up instead of just totally, you know, scraping off all the stucco and redoing it. You're just basically filling up something that's going to eventually collapse in again at some point in time.
And what's the point of even doing that to begin with?
Yeah, we see it on the roads all the time. You go and fill these little potholes, and then the next thing you know, storms come, rain, they get up under it, unearth it. You got to literally scrape all that stuff down and put new if you want it fixed. Right? So, yeah, similar.
Milkman, Sanderson, 0598, B. Joe, John and Cortland, Drumstick, 0532, Jordan P., Thunder Knock Collins. Really appreciate you guys chiming in on the Starter Heyman text line. Keep it coming in hour number 2. We'll talk some Husker football. Which would you rather see, a dominant pass game or a dominant rush game from the Nebraska football offense? How many turnovers do you want to see the defense force in the spring game? All those questions and more, Stricky and I will get to in our next segment here of On the Block.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at gohogwild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised in Lancaster County, learning the value of hard work and grit at a young age. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. I know that families and businesses in our community need lower taxes, lower cost of healthcare, and a great education. That's why, as your senator, I helped pass the largest tax cut and made the most significant investment in education in Nebraska history and worked to reduce the cost of healthcare. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Koppel. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies, but it will be windy. See a high around 77. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms with a low around 49. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny and breezy. And afternoon, high around 69. Meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
We're back on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com, brought to you by Nebco. Check them out, nebcoinc.com. Had a question from the text line here before we move on to the spring game. 3994.
You got a text? The text is on fire today?
They're lighting it up, Strick.
Man, you guys
like
are
Christmas
killing
tree
it today. Let's get it.
Okay, 3994. What can we expect with Husker basketball in lack of depth? Sounds like we got good 5 or 6 players, but should we expect more depth coming in or transferring in? As you see the roster right now, what do you make of the depth for Nebraska men's basketball?
It all depends on the continuation of style. If the style that you want to play is a 5-out type of style, open floor, a lot of cutting, a lot of good screens, hopefully, and getting guys open on a read and react type of offense, you go and get you another 6'9" athletic guy who can stretch a little bit. Like, what's his name? Battle.
Yeah, Jamison Battle.
Get somebody like Jamison Battle who's scrappy, rebound, wiry, but can stroke.
Lower usage, high efficiency.
Yeah. Go find someone like him in the transfer portal. And otherwise, you need to look for, put it this way. For me, it's got to be all front court. Front court looks. Like, you need front court depth. This is an issue I think they had. Not being able to use Blaze Keita last year. Didn't really use Yaup because I think just his rawness and not full grasp of the way that the offense, that offense that Nebraska ran last year is similar to what the triangle is, because it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of reacting, there's a lot of counters, it's a lot of movement. So your mind, depending on which part of the offense they're running, it's a lot to it. You could get lost if you're not, really sound on offensive schemes. You're raw and, in IQ.
Which is why sticking around for multiple years is a good idea in the system.
There you go. So I think front court is where the need is going to be. Go find you another Juwan type, that 6'8", 6'9" type of guy. But I want a little bit more physicality, I would say, because you don't want to go back to an issue of having rebound problems. Right. So that's why I think it's got to be someone that's strong, that's physical. I don't care if it's Carlos Boozer type. You know what I mean? Just somebody that's willing to get in there, bang out, and get you what you need when you need it. If you need a big rebound, you go get it. Byron Houston, if you guys are back in the Big Ten, you remember at Oklahoma State, just real cock diesel, strong, 6'8", physical. I don't care if it's Draymond Green type. Go get him. Somebody that's going to get in there, rebound, can run, can do a lot of the things that Rink can do. Do that. Go get it.
Would you rather have a guy that's more on the wing or a guy that's more on the post, or a hybrid? Hybrid.
Yeah. You need front court. I think front court hybrid abilities that you can do a lot of things that even if it came down to it, if you want to put him and Juwan on the floor at the same time, cool. Because at least you're not going to be hurt. It's going to be somebody that's willing to stick their neck in there in the danger zone if it needs to. You got these big high bodies that elbows at the chin, but you're willing to get in there and mix it up. Somebody like that. Yeah.
Brad says we'll have depth when Chunky commits. He's not going to commit if you call him that. I hope that's a typo. Money G in Kansas. Any talk on junior college players? No, not necessarily. I think Nebraska has stayed mostly in the Division I ranks right now. But Strick, as I look at the roster, I see right now 9 guys that I think are going to deserve minutes. In the backcourt, it's Worcester and Hoiberg. Maybe Ulis. It depends. The staff seems to like him. I'm kind of out on that right now. Okay,
stay there. I like where you're at. But my pause comes from Hoiberg's got to shoot better.
He does.
Otherwise, I love what he does on the defensive side of things, but his minutes could actually shrink for me if he's not. I need you to be efficient. You're getting good looks. I need you to hit those. So I'm going to want him to be more efficient before I keep his numbers in that 15 to 18 minute a game. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So this is just to start the year, right? If Sam's not shooting well, maybe he falls out by conference play at the end of the year. I'm on board with that. Then you have Bryce Williams, Nick Janowski, and Connor Essegian.
Yeah.
So up to either 4 or 5 guys right there.
Good rotation there. You don't have to play Bryce at 30 minutes a game.
Not on point.
Yeah.
If you don't have
so
to.
now I like that group of guys at a 28, 24, 20, 19, 18 range. Like, earn that.
Yeah.
You don't need 30 unless there's a game where you're going buck wild and, you're not coming out tonight, my boy. You're on fire. You staying.
Well,
and
it
could be any of them. I'm talking about, shoot, it could be the 18 minute. It could be a season or any other. I mean, I think Bryce is more seasoned than the other guys at this point. I think he gives me a little bit more. He gives me more size. I still think he defends well. So I'm looking at him being at the top of that totem pole. But I don't mind that minute breakdown.
Then in the front court, I think it's Gary and Griffiths. Kind of as your wings. I think Griffiths is more of a guard than a post, whereas I think Juwan probably more of a bigger guy than a perimeter guy, but can obviously operate on the perimeter. And then Maston Morgan. I think Mast is the 5 to start the year if he comes back. Morgan seems kind of like a traditional power forward to me, right? Some stretchability, not a lot, is probably best served on the interior, but that's 9 guys right there that deserve minutes. And usually by the end of the year, Stricky, coaches shoot to get to 8, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're looking at about an 8, a strong 8, where you're pretty sure about these guys, but a guy's capable in those sparse minutes is capable of doing something. And then I'm rolling with what's rolling, But I like that. Who can jump into that group? Like you asked the question, who still is needed? I still think front court help is always going to be good. Go get you another guy in that department. If he breaks through, cool. I would even take a flyer on a guy that's like Job. I would take another flyer on a guy like that, but maybe learn the lesson that I hopefully learned in his situation and have better conversations with understanding. I would take a flyer on him on another project, workshop guy.
Right. Who's a break glass in case of emergency guy this year, but can give you a different element, too, if you need a little spice in the cooking. So 5475 says an athletic big, a rim protector, a rebounder, a stretch 4, and an athletic bucket getter. Here's the thing. You're not going to get all those things.
No.
Cliff Amore is still out there, but less and less likely by the day for Nebraska. Stretch 4, like you said, Jamison Battle. Find a guy like that. Absolutely bring him in. And then an athletic bucket getter. Those are the ones that are out of the portal.
Those are ones
nice and
gone.
Early. You had to be in on that guy at the start of the cycle. So yes, Nebraska could use it, but if you're looking for an athletic bucket getter, that ship's probably sailed by now.
You missed that. You missed that boat. And they're not going to be cheap.
That part. Some of the numbers we're getting thrown around for some of these guys is just insane.
Ridiculous.
Well, here's one, Strick. I'll throw this out to you. Jeremy Roach getting $1.5 million from Baylor. $1.5 million for 1 year of eligibility.
Whew. Boy, I just need to pause. I needed a pause moment. It's unbelievable what's going on out here. I was talking to my boy Rick Riley down in Houston, and Rick was like, "Dang, Strick, I mean, I'm seeing you getting back in shape, man. You trying to go get another 5-10 minutes and get?" I was like, "No, it's about what I could give you, about 5 or 10 good minutes. That's it. But no, I'm good.
Just be the Juwan Howard Udonis Haslam guy.
The way that they paying right now, Lord have mercy. That little 10-day contract go real lovely right now."
Right. Okay, here's one, Stricky. 2289. Who's the leading scorer next season?
I probably would foreshadow Bryce, but it's not going to be crazy. It's not going to be like the other Bryce in the upper teens. I'm thinking that 14-15 range.
How far behind is Rink if he comes back?
I think Rink is in that 12 to 14 range.
Essegian?
I think they are all going to be about the same. Essegian's probably 10 to 12.
Okay, for reference, last year, Keisei Tominaga ends up leading score at 15. Bryce 13.4, Rink 12.3, Jawan 11.6.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're just that good.
Yeah. Just got a little mind. Little mind.
Big brain.
Yeah,
Little mind,
big
yeah.
brain, little mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's about how it looks. And I think he's going to be assertive in that area. Not having those responsibilities, I think he's going to become more assertive and finding his way off of screens and getting into certain places and post-ups and different, because he's going to have his legs.
Yeah.
He's going to have his legs a lot more. And I think that's going to push him a little bit to get to those numbers.
You've mentioned just how much a good defensive point guard can take the legs out of a ball handler.
Boy.
Right. And this is purely anecdotal. I want you to jump off on this here before we get to Brian Munson. I feel like Bryce Williams could have been better in the mid post, right? If he's getting matched up with point guards, that's a matchup you want him to go to the block. Either he scores, 70% of the time, or they have to double. He starts the offense with a kick, boom, 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 open three at some point. Do you think it was just the legs and the mental strain from having to play point that held him back in the mid post to some degree?
I think so. Because if you're him and you're referencing what had transpired the year before, you see that's what Greasel did.
Right.
Greasel he literally just took advantage of smaller guys. And there was either going to be a good shot, a good opportunity, or a second shot, because a big was going to have to come over to help once he got into the paint. And then you've got offensive rebound opportunities. So yeah, that's where I think it helped. But I think he'll have more opportunities to do that. Even still, I mean, he's like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah,
and
legit.
I still think he needs to play lower. I've talked to some of the staff about how he plays so upright.
What does that give him if he gets lower?
Well, it gives you the ability to hit shots over people. Because when you're lower and you can hit guys with shoulders and little arms without chicken winging people. When you're standing up, in order to create space, you got a chicken wing to get them off of you.
Or you got to drop the shoulder in.
Or drop it in. But if you're low and you kind of lean in, you can just little dip just to get them off of you and step off, and you're ready to shoot. One of the problems that people upright have is they don't get enough elevation, and then they don't shoot on the way up. So their short shots either end up short or off because they're either leaning or they're shooting on the way down, which leaves their shot. But if you're squatted, you're able to definitely raise up and can get those shots off on the up as opposed to on the way down. So also you could draw fouls, get and ones better. You're not getting knocked off balance. You're able to go up through contact. And he just needs to play a little bit lower, I think.
Is that core? Is that legs?
I think
both?
It's probably a little both. Yeah, he needs definitely to get strong in his core and his legs.
Bryce Williams listed at 215.
Solid body. That's what I'm saying. Like,
add 5? Add 10?
Huh?
Add 10 pounds?
No, I don't even think you need
Not
to add
even?
pounds. I think he just needs to play lower. I think he's strong enough. I mean, the weight program is definitely strong enough for them, for him to get it done. I just think he just plays a little bit too upright.
So stretching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because even on defense at times he would play with his back bent instead of sitting.
That's the first thing you learn in elementary school is bend the knees.
Bend the knees. That's what I always understood is leverage is better. My opportunities, I'm able to jump into you as I play lower and stay on balance because I'm rising up through your body, which then moves you as opposed to moving me. And I'm able to then boom, but stay course as opposed to boom and fall off course. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're able to go up through contact and you're lower in leverage, you hit body, but you stay here. So this body does this, you create space. Now you're able to finish if you're focused on the finish and not the foul. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble. They do this, focus on the foul, and don't focus on exactly. You start flailing, you start hoping. No, go up through it as if you don't care if the contact happens. Regardless if it happens, I'm going to finish.
Go make the contact.
There it is.
This was supposed to be a spring game segment, but that was a really good basketball discussion instead. We will talk some spring game with Brian Munson of Husker Online. Who are the visitors coming in? What does he expect for the format? And maybe even some college football rule changes we heard about and haven't gotten to yet. We'll talk all that with Brian Munson on the other side of our break. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
And located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage before kickoff on April 27th. Not heading downtown for the spring game? Visit the Highball Bar for daily specials, live music, and much more. Spend your spring game Saturday just north of 11th and O and within walking distance of Memorial Stadium at the Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and our annual spring sales event is now underway. We have absolutely huge savings right now at Coppell. New Sierras and new Silverados have a double whammy. Choose from APR starting at 1.9% or discounts over $9,000. Yes, that's right, 1.9% APR or discounts of over $9,000. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street just south of the interstate, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
The Red White Spring Game is coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the game? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans, made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No spring game party or tailgate is complete without it.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Orman and Erick Strickland with you, brought to you by Nebco. We turn our attention now to our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We welcome in Brian Munson of Husker Online. Find him on Twitter, Brian Munson _. Brian, how's your week going, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. It just started, but I think basically it's trending towards a positive one. How about you?
Excellent. Yes, I would have to say the same. It's spring game week. We made it. It's pretty late, Brian. Most other schools across the country have already had their spring game. I know there's a good chunk going yet on Saturday. But when you look at Nebraska's spring game being later, let's start with the players on the roster. Is it a benefit to them? Is it a disadvantage to them? Does it not really matter that Nebraska's spring game is late?
Well, I think maybe the one part that they are aware of, obviously, is about the portal window, how much longer the portal window will stay open. Obviously you're going to have some sort of an interview process, with the position, possibly even like with Matt Rule or coordinators, following the spring game. They're going to get together. They're going to discuss things. They'll figure out how things are going to kind of move forward. This is going to be an interesting time. I think that, I think several people would say that the 2024 group that have been brought in, like half the class is already there, number one. And it's probably, safe to say that a lot of those guys might have been they might have recruited over some of the existing talent that was there in Lincoln. So when you have that kind of to go back and take a look at, you're going to, the roster becomes more youthful, but you have to figure out a way to kind of get back to 85. There's probably some reason to believe that Nebraska is going to have, some activity in the portal. Like a guy like we were just talking about it, Vince Genatone, coming out of Montana, a former North Platte Bulldog. What's Nebraska's kind of thoughts on grabbing him? It seems like he would be like a perfect kind of shiny example of somebody who could be successful in Lincoln under Matt Rule, because he's such a grinder. He's such a great athlete, kind of fits that whole bill. And I don't think he was necessarily a guy that Nebraska under Scott Frost could have taken a chance on, just where Scott was at, like in his tenure, and trying to kind of find a little bit more proven commodity kind of guy versus a guy that they could take a chance on. So, I think that it's a little bit later in the process. I'm sure the guys are all aware about where they're at with the portal, but I think that a lot of this stuff is going to come down to how do those interviews happen or go, like with the coaches the days after the spring game.
Yeah, what do you make of the real lack of portal entrance for Nebraska football so far? I mean, guys have had plenty of opportunity to do it, but they haven't. Is that a benefit to Nebraska? Is it Nebraska holding them back and saying, hey, just wait and see? What do you make of the relative calm around the portal entries?
Yeah, obviously the question that was asked and answered on, I think it was Saturday after the scrimmage. I think Rule is about as transparent as he could be, with answering that question, whether it's, we've got a good situation going on here. The NIL is, it's consistent. It's not something that's being, talked about one way and handed out another. It's very consistent in its distribution. You know what to kind of expect. I think the coaches are fantastic. I think everybody comes back and raves about that with the recruits. I think the facilities are phenomenal. I think the educational side obviously weighs into it as well. I think that what's kind of coming together is the culture that's being built at Nebraska is getting back to what Nebraska fans hope that it is, that kids want to be there and don't see it as maybe like an opportunity to kind of springboard out after they put together a little bit of film and go find a better opportunity. It's more of a destination. I mean, they're clearly in one of those two premier, conferences, which is something else that Matt Rule said in his answer as well. And I think that weighs into, the opportunities financially around, what's going to happen with the support for the program, the personnel that are there to kind of support the kids as well from the coaching and academic side. And I think obviously I think honestly, as I keep coming back to it, you're not even seeing like third string guys, get out because they're looking for an opportunity. I think it's because, everybody works at every practice, and NIL is divvied out in this way that's very fair, and it doesn't have a lot of I guess lies around it. They know what kind of to expect on a month-to-month basis.
On the recruiting side of things then, Brian, with the later date of the spring game, is that an advantage or a disadvantage for Nebraska when it comes to recruiting?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a disadvantage today. I mean, you saw a school bring in an official visitor that was supposed to be there in Lincoln this week, and he decided to go ahead and visit. But I mean, kind of a bad timing logistically. I mean, he visited the home state school first versus everybody else, so maybe it saves everybody a visit. But in the end, I think Nebraska wish they would have had a shot there. I think overall, I think it does give Nebraska a little bit of an advantage. You still have guys that are getting offers, 2025 guys. Nebraska's able to still have a lot of visitors come in for unofficials, the weeks leading up to the spring game. I think Nebraska's big board is still developing. I think it's still one of those things that they're still kind of like, there's plenty of players that are still kind of coming in, trying to figure out who their fourth, fifth, or beyond official visits are going to be. And I think Nebraska's kind of made an impact, on several of those recruits. And we'll find out here, shortly if they're going to get official visits with them, like a Noah Kyle is a guy that's like that. You're trying to figure out if you can get into his top five. You might have found a way to kind of get around some of the other guys' general, being unavailable previously or earlier on in the month, and you find maybe this last weekend in April is a little bit more available for some of those guys to kind of get out and take a trip. So I think it's going to work for some. I think it's going to not work for others. It's probably 50-50, but I think Nebraska, kicks off kind of their official visitors this week, and they got some really, really big ones in when it comes to their big board. Probably their number one kind of Z, probably their number one into X, probably their number one corner, probably their number one quarterback are all coming in this weekend. So good group to kind of kick off your official visitor season.
On that front, Brian, I know during the season we talk about how sometimes it's tough for Nebraska to get visitors for the 11 a.m. kickoffs, right? Because guys are playing on Friday nights. What's the schedule for most of these guys? Are they getting to Nebraska on Friday for a Saturday game? Or are they coming in Saturday morning? What's your read on that?
Yeah, I think most of these guys are coming in on Friday. From everything that I have been kind of gathering from them, it may not be early Friday. It might be like just Friday in time to kind of slip over and say hello to whomever, or potentially be greeted at like the hotel, by the coach or by the staff or whatever. I think most of these folks will be there Friday evening. It's just kind of, I think that maybe does work in the favor of kind of having these, late spring, and obviously the summertime visits is that you don't find yourself, battling a game Friday night or having to go to a film study or film review on Saturday morning. You can get out there and kind of check that stuff out a little bit more freely. But I would fully expect, the majority of these guys to be into Lincoln at some point on Friday afternoon, Friday evening.
We're talking Husker football and recruiting with Brian Munson of Husker Online here on our Allo VIP line. Brian, let's take a look at the spring game itself here. Just one question for the offense and the defense. If you're watching the Nebraska offense, would you rather see a dominant performance or a good performance from the running game or the passing game on Saturday?
Ooh, wow, that's a toughie. I'm going to go with the passing game. I think that was obviously a place where Nebraska felt like they have to improve. They probably felt they had to improve on both sides of the football, but I think so much about the passing game has to do with timing and chemistry, and I think that you have those things are obviously in play a little bit, particularly like with the chemistry with the offensive line. But I think that when you have 2024 quarterbacks like Kalen and Raiola that are coming in, they're working with a brand new group of guys for the most part. I know that Kalen has worked with Davon Hall before, but when you kind of put them into these new circumstances, into a college environment, if they can show that they've got a feel for how the offense is supposed to work, that they're making reads of the defense, properly, they're making good decisions, or they know where to go with the football, so like when you don't see turnovers, you'll take the misfires here and there, just don't turn the football over. I think that's the part there that's going to give people the most optimism, because I think people would all agree there's plenty of playmakers on the outside. Nebraska can find ways to be consistent running the football. They may not have like that bell cow kind of guy that's going to go out there, or a guy that's going to hit it out of the park, whenever he touches the football. But they can be consistent there, I feel, with the guys that they have back there in the backfield. I think that Nebraska fans, however, are going to want to see, how do you put speed to use, like with Jalen Lloyd? How do you get a guy like that? That's a 10-100 guy. How do you use a player like that down the football field? And can a guy like Harburg or Iola or Kalen catch him in stride and make that look all fluid and part of like one end-to-end movement? So I think it's going to be the passing game, because it talks more about how the quarterbacks are adjusting to the speed of the game and the speed of the players in the competition.
We saw some highlights from the scrimmage on Saturday, and I don't know if it's something, I don't know if it's nothing, but we saw Raiola to Lloyd featured a couple of times, whereas we saw Heinrich Harburg running the ball. So again, I don't know if that's something, I don't know if that's nothing, but on the defense, Brian, we know Nebraska's offense was inclined to just drop the ball at random times last year, almost regardless of position. But for the defense in the spring game, would you rather see, a good performance in terms of defense created turnovers, or the Matt Rule stat of being better on third down?
I want to see some turnovers. I mean, I think it's one of those things that turnovers, they happen because of confidence. They happen because of the confidence in the system, because of the players that they're playing around. There's sometimes it has to do with consistency and the chemistry of the players that are out there with them on the field at any one time, that they know how the other guy is going to play, when it comes to, a certain set or the pattern being run against them or whatever. I think that you have to be able to capitalize on those moments. I've rewatched a couple of games this week, and there were some costly opportunities, when it came to turnovers that were dropped and just not being able to capitalize on that stuff. I think those are the things that have to start going the other way. While I do feel like getting off the field on third down is obviously part of that equation, I would think that, getting off the field on third down to force a punt is one thing. Having a chance to flip the field immediately following a turnover, that's another. And I think that's obviously something that Tony White really kind of hit on a lot last year, was just, we're trying to get those turnovers. We're trying to generate a few more of those. They couldn't seem to be able to do that very well. And obviously they weren't going to keep up with the offense that seemed to want to go ahead and put it on the field quite a few times a game.
A couple things then, just kind of in a big picture college football sense here, Brian. A lot of new rule changes officially passed in the last week, including helmet communication. Do you know if Nebraska will have that available to use and experiment with at the spring game?
I think that they've been experimenting with it. I don't know if it's going to be implemented by the time the spring game comes around. I know that from some of the comments already that like Rule and others have been finding that it's been tremendously efficient, that they've already kind of found some comfort, in kind of having that process there. So I don't know if that would be in place on Saturday or not. Certainly something to keep an eye on.
How important is it for Nebraska specifically this year, either breaking in a first-year starting quarterback or second-year starting quarterback, and probably some changeover at middle linebacker too? Just how big a resource and tool could that be for this Nebraska team specifically?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, this is a massive kind of coming out party for the quarterback position. With just the way you set the stage on that. You got potentially a guy that's looking to become the starter again in like the second year. He's Harburg. I think he was a little dinged up following the Illinois game. I don't think he was ever healthy again, basically the rest of the stretch of the season. You have the confident 2024s that are there that are challenging one another, that seem to be doing very, very well. Then you've got, like you said, you set the stage, at linebacker. I think everybody would agree. I think that this is a book-ended defense. They're going to be really, really, really strong up front. And while you maybe have a different starter like Bly Hill, at cornerback, realistically, you don't have a lot of change back there, and you have a lot of experience, you have a lot of talent. You have to find ways to kind of then get the second level, which they have a lot of dudes. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of players at the second level. They have to find some ways to kind of find some consistency there. Try to replace a guy like Reimer. That's not going to be easy. I mean, that's a really tall task. But you got to find ways to find some guys that you can feel confident around, that can go out there and play the role. Maybe they're not going to have that kind of that playmaking ability, that range, or something like that. But they have to find a way to kind of build some confidence on the guys that they're rolling out there, particularly at the inside linebacker position.
The other two rule changes, Brian, were the 2-minute warning added to college football and then tablets on the sideline. Of those three rule changes, which is your personal favorite for college football?
I like the 2-minute warning. I mean, I saw it being used like in the Michigan game. I thought that was really they were already trying to find you can really plan that, particularly like when you're trying to get the other side of the other team to punt the football. Using it to your benefit, to where you're forcing one of those timeouts right then and there, and being able to hold essentially a timeout to where you get back on offense and be able to have the football back. So I really liked how the spring game was already featuring that. Like I said, it stood out in the spring game at Ann Arbor on Saturday. Was already something that had caught my eye. So I think that's going to be very interesting for the game of college football.
We had some questions last year about game management from Nebraska staff at a couple different moments. Do you think Matt Rule's NFL experience helps out with the 2-minute implementation?
No doubt. Well, I mean, so in fairness, and I don't know a lot about Matt Rule and his time at the Carolina Panthers, but I mean, coming from the pro game and knowing how to kind of have the 2-minute rule and the 2-minute warning, is kind of used to your advantage, and how, in different, how it plays in different roles and different sets. I think that's important background to have. Now, obviously, we can all sit there and say as armchair quarterbacks and sitting back there and watching the game that we've all criticized the use of timeouts and, mismanagement of the game clock. We've seen it with everybody. And so it's just a matter, I think, that, he's got an understanding about how the game is played with it, before. Kind of re-implementing that thought process, into how things are supposed to work is going to be something, obviously, that his staff is pretty familiar with the pro game and the 2-minute warning as well. So having those coordinators, bringing them up to speed is going to be something that's going to be a concern to him, and making everybody else aware of it, including down to the players. That's going to be something else that probably does have an advantage to Nebraska, since he's seen that in the pro game level.
It's spring game week here in Nebraska. Make sure you check out Brian Munson's coverage at Husker Online. Brian, what do you got on tap for people this week? What can they look for it on 3 leading up to the spring game?
Yeah, we're going to have a visitor game preview either Thursday or Friday. Right now, currently 8 official visitors confirmed, 9 2025 unofficial visitors confirmed. I know that there'll be several more beyond that. We got some big-time unofficial visitors coming in, particularly from Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. I'm not ruling out maybe a commitment this week. So we'll keep your eyes tuned to my Twitter and obviously over to Red Sea Scrolls and Husker Online to stay on top of that one.
We would certainly recommend it here. Brian, thanks for the time. We'll catch up about the visitors and everything going on at the spring game next week.
Can't wait, guys. All right. Talk to you soon.
That's Brian Munson with us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Jay Foreman in the building. Let's bring him in, cross it over to wrap up on the block next.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through April 23rd is buy one, get one free on 8-ounce flat iron steaks, limit 4 per visit. Also, buy one, get one 50% off on Montova grilled artichokes. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. The Red White Spring Game is coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the game? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans, made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No spring game party or tailgate is complete without it.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up on the block, Austin Orman, Erick Strickland, joined now by Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome in.
What up? Good afternoon.
What up?
Good afternoon indeed.
What up, Jay?
We were just talking off air. Jake Sorensen has a couple days left on his paternity leave. And apparently he's been texting Nick, complaining about his kid not sleeping and his kid always crying. Like, how many texts have we received, the ones with actual experience about this? Why is he texting Nick? It's like he just wants to complain about his problems instead of solve them.
Yeah, look, it's either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution there, Jake. And we have solutions over here. We all got experience. We understand what you're going through. It will get better. But you sold yourself down the river, my friend.
Is this a form, Jay, of payback?
It is for Jake, yeah. It is. It is. It's all those times that he just decided to golf or whatever. His world has changed, man. Sleep is not your friend. You know, Jake reminds me of somebody that likes to sleep in and likes to get his little beauty sleep. Not anymore.
Well, he couldn't either because,
on the weekends, Jake looks like he likes his beauty sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very, very particular.
Very Miami about it.
Yep. negative. No more. You're all done, Jake. Your rest of your life, you will not sleep again.
Well, especially these next 5 years.
You ain't sleeping at all.
Whew. These next
Forget it. Forget about it.
The next
The next 6 months
until he starts getting until she starts getting that
Night
formula.
sleep. Yeah.
Until that heavy, not formula, to that oatmeal starts hitting that stomach. You wait. Talk to me, Austin.
Just got there.
Just got through.
Just got there. Kid is eating the rice cereal and the oatmeal.
Yeah.
Likes green beans.
Really?
Had green beans last night. He is about green beans, not about peas, not about bananas. Avocados were hit or miss.
Huh.
How about that?
Yeah, Jake is in for it. Them next
2 years.
Hey, the next 6 months, he's gonna be horrible. Hey, Jake, you better start getting your tweets out then. Start studying tape.
Circle of trust, circle of honesty here. Have I gotten worse over the last 6 months? My kid's just over 6 months old.
What do you mean, have you gotten worse?
Well, you said Jake's in for it. He's going to be worse off. Like, I changed up the last 6 months?
No, you good.
There's been moments where you could tell that.
Yeah, he broke. Yeah,
he spent.
Yeah,
mentally spent.
Yeah, there was a couple times you've been on fumes, but we got you back. But Jake, it's gonna test him mentally, his mental strength, mental toughness.
Yeah,
because it's a shock to your system.
He's pampered here. I mean, think about all the stuff the morning show gets.
Right, and he likes to go take a nap, but the problem is here's not a problem, but it's great for the morning show with him and Bill. All those early breakers, they're gonna be bringing them in diapers, mark my words, formula, Target cards to get little onesie. Watch how much stuff he gets, and watch how Jake runs with it. Then he'd be like, "Man, I don't know. This the breakers. Can you call in from Africa? Send in something. Check in. What they do? They roll call. They're gonna be roll calling stuff in there. Watch, we're gonna come in there. He's gonna mess around with baby carriage and all types of stuff in there. Early breakers be taking care of Jake and them, man.
They love him.
All of a sudden, Nick and I are gonna have cubicles. This is gonna be Jake's closet.
Right.
You better write thank you letters though to all the breakers.
It's almost time, Jay.
For what?
Spring game.
Oh yeah, and the draft is this weekend.
It's almost time.
Yeah.
What are you expecting to see, my boy? Obviously, we're not going to see what we're going to see, but you know what I'm saying. What do you think?
I think. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I want to see, and this is what I'm expecting to see: just a better looking football team, more tidied up type of operation.
Do they get rid of the fumbleia?
The biggest thing I want to see is I would say all turnovers aren't the same. So if I come and say you are doing everything you need to do ball technique wise, but nature versus nurture, 3 guys hit you and then I got you held up like the drill and you strip like I'll be on the offensive player if I was a coach, but then also the defense made good plays. I'd rather see those type of turnovers, obviously just probably 2 versus the unforced errors. Mm-hmm. And then I want to see how these guys, attack the offense and defensive line. I want to see some young players. I want to see who's going to step up an inside linebacker.
I want to see some Mortal Kombat. Finish him.
Yeah, you might see a little bit of that, but I want to see obviously I'm a former linebacker. I want to see Bullock. I want to see Thompson. I want to see where he's. I mean, I've watched him on tape and seen him play. I want to see Bullock. You're coming back. You're kind of
the tweener.
The spring was your coming out party last year.
He's got a shot at the green dot.
Yeah, you got a shot at the green dot. You're back. Reimer and Nick Heinrich are gone. That's a lot of playing time that's there. You're thrusted in. You can be a leader. You can possibly be a captain. And then you could also, have a great senior year and have an impact on this year. I want to see what he does.
What about the Russians?
Matt Rose talked to Chief Borders.
Emil 11. What? How do I say it?
Princewell.
Princewell.
He's out. He's out. But but Matt Rose said Chief Borders has done well. MJ Sherman. He's mentioned Chief Borders, I think, Austin, 2 or 3 separate times.
Mm-hmm. Most improved player.
Right. Most improved player. So I just want to see that if we do get to see it. See some depth. I mean, you look at and then you see some of the young offensive linemen. You got to think you had Sledge, Gatula last year, who a couple practices I went to, they did not look like out of place. So you want to see the improvement from them.
What about the depth on the interior?
And offensive line?
Defensive.
Yeah. Riley Van Poppel. Yeah, Jackson. Then you obviously got Nash and
Judy.
So that's
I want to see Judy a little bit more.
If I'm Judy, I would try to say this is if I was him, and I don't know what type of spring he's made, but I haven't heard a lot about him. I've heard about Van Poppel, a little bit about Jackson, but if I'm Judy, I'm want to make the coaches tell me to turn it down in this spring game. And yes, it's an evaluation from week 1 to week 5, but this is the lasting impression.
Mm-hmm.
So you would like to be trending up as you get longer into this spring ball thing. You want to see what, a good looking linebacker. I remember when he was recruited, haven't seen him practice much just because I haven't been around, is Dylan Rogers. I mean, he's a good looking athlete. Now, I don't know if he plays inside stack linebacker or does he have position flexibility. Want to see Jamari Butler's, I think he started to come on.
He was coming on.
Yeah, I want to see him do his thing. I want to see them all to do a thing. You had number 90. They just call him the sack man. I think it's
James Williams.
James Williams. And he doesn't. His last name is not what he looks like, if you know what I'm saying. But he can get to the quarterback.
I want to see what our DBs is like.
I think the depth is there. I mean, you see, Matt Rule's talked about Bly Hill 2-3 times. He said if the games were played today, it would be Hill and Hill. You can say, hey, that's a great NIL, Hill and Hill Incorporated. That's the law firm. Yeah. You got Buford back. You see, I mean, you don't really need to see him play, but you just want to see him go out there and move around a little bit. Gifford. And then obviously you're waiting for Singleton. He's out this spring, but he's a guy that, took advantage of the opportunity last year. So you got a lot of depth there. You want to see some young guys. Boodle's younger brother.
Buford's younger brother.
Nation, who was looked good. And what does their body look like after a year in our program? That's really what I want to see. Who's really done it? Then also the tight ends, Fedoni and company and all that stuff.
Carter Nelson.
Yeah, well, he's coming in
here.
But
he won't get until summer.
Right.
Yeah, but Keelan Smith, Neil Smith's son.
Yeah.
Matt Rule talked about him. Said he had a good day. And then he also said the offense had their best day ever. Well, he's only been here a year.
Who's gonna be the bell cow for the running back?
10 seconds for station ID. Think about it.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I like both. I like Emmett. I like Dowdell. I like Emmett. I don't know why. It's weird with me sometimes, and I don't know where it comes from.
MSP.
But he's the first one. Homeboy can hoop though. Straight up. I mean, he played with Jalen Suggs. He can flat out. He can ball now.
Okay.
It's verifiable, right? Like this ain't no like he can he can get up and get down like Charlie Brown. The thing with like Emmett, it's like all he's ever done is answer the call. But then like some dudes in the media is like, I don't know. Well, if you keep seeing, like I just go off of what I see. I don't know. I'm not in the meetings. I don't know. I know he's a good kid. I know he's smart. I know he's tough. I know he's gotten bigger, faster, stronger, and he's survived the transition. And last year he got his opportunity to step up. I can only imagine he's better. I think Dowdell, he's got experience. I think I like that 1-2 punch.
Boy,
not comparing these two to him, but if you could get them to consistently improve over the summer, you think about
Mighty Mouse and Hercules.
Right. I was thinking like a Reggie Bush and Lindell White.
Yeah.
Like that. Like you'd like to, and obviously not comparing these two because you get Reggie Bush is one of the best college football players, might be the best college football player of all time. But that combination to those two, and don't forget Ramir.
Yeah,
Mr. Consistent. If he can stay healthy, he gives you a lot of, at least in my opinion, I'm just talking from a defensive standpoint, gives you some confidence in everything. Swiss Army knife, return game, leadership, special teams, third down, and then also he's shown when healthy he can tote the pill. And that might work out for him where you're kind of in there, like these two might be the 1A and 1B, and that's kind of flipping who's hot. And then boom, you're always the backup and getting 5 or 6 carries and a couple touches. And then if Gabe Irvin, he's still coming back from his stuff, you get something out of him. Now you got a decent little running back room. And then along with the receivers. I mean,
hey. We just need creativity out of the offensive scheme. Give me some creativity.
Yeah, we need creativity. But we need to create first, though, Strick? The basics.
Well, let's
do the basics.
I'm with that.
We're going to create the basics first. It's just in your world. Let's see if we can run 5 out, 4 out, pick and roll. And once we get with that, then we can run some double pin downs, some elevator screens, and then we can start throwing the backdoor alley-oops. We get the basics down. Trust me, they're going to be able, they got some dudes out there to be able to rock and roll. But you got to work at it, though. That's the hard part. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done.
Facts. A lot of unknowns.
What's coming up on Old School?
We're gonna talk NBA playoffs. My man Ant-Man. I've been hype all day.
Whoa.
We're gonna talk the NFL draft. We're gonna go over the latest mock, and then we're gonna talk about the, at least in my opinion, the basketball transfer portal. Are you overpaying, and why are you paying this much money for 1-year rentals? I never understood it, and I'm gonna give you my opinion. I'll be Commissioner Jay Foreman again. I'll be general manager of a basketball team, Jay Foreman.
There it is.
How
Next
much would
Tim
I pay?
Connolly?
Yeah, whatever. You call me whatever.
There you go. That's coming up on Old School. Stricky, what a way to start the week.
What a great week.
Good show,
what a
my
good
guy.
start, man. Good stuff. And looking forward to the rest of the week. Thank you guys for tuning in, chiming in, and getting involved into the conversation. But we are on the block, and guess what? We'll see you
mañana. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply on